They thought it was just a weekend getaway, a quiet Airbnb in the woods, once a children's orphanage. But when Emily and Carter vanished, what police found beneath the bedroom floor shocked the nation. Dozens of names scratched into the walls, no records, no justice. And what's worse, the trapdoor hadn't been opened in over 50 years until now. Stay until the end, because the house didn't just hide its secrets, it buried them. It began like any other weekend escape. Emily and Carter, a couple in their early 30s, recently engaged, wanted a break from the noise of city life. He found the listing on Airbnb. A charming, beautifully restored Victorian home nestled in the quiet woods of upstate New York. The listing had character, polished wooden floors, antique furnishings, and a note about its unusual past. Once a 19th century orphanage, later abandoned, then renovated into a cozy retreat. To Emily it sounded romantic, to Carter a little eerie, but perfect. They arrived late Friday afternoon. The host greeted them briefly, handed over an old brass key, and warned them with a smile. "Be careful with the doors upstairs. Old houses like this tend to hide things." That would be the last time anyone saw them. By Sunday morning, the hosts returned to clean. Emily and Carter were gone, but their car remained parked outside. The coffee machine was full. 2 phones sat plugged in by the kitchen counter. Emily's handbag and cardigan were folded neatly on the arm of the sofa. No signs of struggle, no forced entry, no packed bags. The bed was made, the fireplace cold. It was as if they had vanished into thin air. Local authorities arrived within hours. The home was sealed off. The surrounding forest searched. Dogs, drones, helicopters, nothing. Then, in the master bedroom, an officer noticed something strange. The area rug beneath the bed was slightly shifted. When they pulled it back, they found a small wooden trapdoor, flush with the floor, almost invisible, rusted shut, unmarked. The hosts swore they didn't know it was there. When the trapdoor was pried open, a narrow, rotting staircase revealed itself, descending into darkness. What lay beneath would unravel decades of silence. The basement hadn't been on any blueprint. No mention of it in real estate records, renovation permits, or Airbnb descriptions. It was unfinished. Dirt floor, stone walls, and an air so thick it made flashlights feel dim. Chains bolted to the wall. A rusted cot. Doll limbs. And words. Scratched over and over into every surface. "Help us! We're still here." And names. Dozens of names. Carved in childlike handwriting. Some had dates beside them. 1959, 1963, 1968. It wasn't just a hidden room. It was a hidden past. St. Matilda's Home for Children had operated from the 1880s until its quiet closure in 1971. Records were minimal. The church had once owned the land, but sold it during the decline. Locals recalled nuns who kept to themselves. Few remembered the children. One man, a retired officer named Gerald Malkin, came forward after hearing about the discovery on the news. He remembered something. In 1970, a missing persons report had crossed his desk. 2 siblings, aged 8 and 10, disappeared from the orphanage. No follow-up. The report vanished a week later. When he asked about it, he was transferred. He had always believed something darker had happened behind those walls. Now it was becoming clear. The orphanage had secrets buried deeper than anyone imagined. Authorities began to dig, literally. Ground-penetrating radar revealed unusual soil shifts beneath the house and in the surrounding woods. Over the next 2 weeks, cadaver dogs marked 11 separate spots. Dig teams uncovered fragments of bone, small shoes, decaying cloth dolls. One set of remains was quickly identified. Melody Ruiz, aged 7, who had gone missing in 1968. Her name was one of the first carved on the basement wall. From there, the case exploded. More families came forward, those whose adoption requests were denied, who had dropped children off and never heard back. Sealed church records, missing files, and payments made to unnamed benefactors from the orphanage's final year of operation. The deeper the investigators went, the more they found, including multiple reports that had mysteriously disappeared from police archives in the 1970s. It became clear someone had helped bury this. But what did this have to do with Emily and Carter? They were modern, innocent, random guests who had no connection to the orphanage, unless they saw something they weren't supposed to. Forensic teams found fresh footprints in the dust of the basement floor, Emily's shoe and Carter's. But one set of prints didn't belong to them. They were barefoot and led straight to the wall, then stopped. Security footage from the nearby trail camera caught nothing unusual until 2:13 a.m. on Saturday night. A light flickered in the upstairs window, then darkness. The couple was never seen again. A theory emerged. What if the house didn't just hide its history? What if it still lived in it? Neighbors, elderly, reclusive, began sharing whispers. That at night you could hear tapping. That some guests left early, complaining of nightmares and cold spots. One woman, now in her 80s, admitted she had lived in the house as a child. Her parents were caretakers. She remembered the trapdoor and being told never to open it. She described screams late at night. A nun named Sister Alma who locked children away when they sinned, and a smell of wet stone and silence. The case gained national attention. The Trapdoor Disappearance, headlines read. But the story wasn't just about Emily and Carter anymore. It was about the dozens of children whose voices had been erased. It was about the complicity of institutions that turned away. And it was about how history hides until someone steps on the wrong floorboard. Today, the house sits behind crime scene tape. No guests allowed, no plans to reopen. Emily and Carter are still missing. But their story brought light to the others who were lost. Sometimes the past doesn't stay buried. Sometimes it scratches at the surface, waiting to be found. And sometimes the house isn't haunted by ghosts, it's haunted by silence. Stay tuned for more true crime stories, unsettling mysteries, and real histories that were never meant to be uncovered. Because behind every charming doorway, there may be a secret waiting underneath.